The clinic's number flashed on my phone screen, and my stomach dropped. I'd been dreading this call all morning. "Ms. Lowe, I'm sorry, but there seems to be an issue with your payment. The transfer was reversed." My throat went dry. "That's impossible. I've had that money in my account for years. The $42,000 deposit bounced yesterday. We'll need to reschedule your surgery until we receive—" I hung up before she could finish. My hands trembled as I logged into my banking app. There it was, a transfer to Susan Lowe, dated 3 days ago. My own mother had cleaned out my surgery fund. I'm Tamara, and I've spent the last decade of my life fighting my own body. Endometriosis isn't just a diagnosis, it's a prison sentence. Every month brings pain that drops me to my knees, and the only escape is a surgery I've been saving for since I was 22. The drive to my mother's house was a blur. I found her in the kitchen, calmly arranging flowers like she hadn't just destroyed my future. "Where's my money?" My voice cracked. She didn't even look up. "Don't be dramatic, Tamara. Gabriella needed it more." "Needed it? For what?" "Her honeymoon in Greece. Alan's been under stress, and they needed something special." I gripped the counter to stay upright. That was my surgery money. My only chance to— To what? She finally turned, her face a mask of practiced concern. "Have children? Sweetheart, we both know that's not in God's plan for you." The front door slammed, and Gabriella breezed in, designer shopping bags hanging from her arms. "Mom, wait till you see what I got for the trip." "You knew?" I asked her. "You knew that was my money?" My sister rolled her eyes. "Oh, please, like you were ever going to use it. Besides, this is my 5th marriage. I need this to work." "I needed that surgery to work," I screamed. "Do you have any idea what this pain is like?" "Everyone has cramps, Tamara," my mother sighed. "Stop being jealous of your sister's happiness." Gabriella smirked. "Maybe if you weren't so negative all the time, you'd find someone too. I mean, after Evan left." "Don't." My voice was ice. "Don't you dare bring him into this." "Honey." My mother stepped closer, reaching for my shoulder. I jerked away. "Sometimes we have to accept God's will. Some women aren't meant to be mothers." I backed toward the door, my vision blurring. "You're right, Mom. Some women aren't meant to be mothers. Like you." I drove straight to work, barely able to see through my tears. My coworker Mila found me in the bathroom, mascara streaked down my face. "They took everything," I whispered as she held me. "My own family." "Then we'll find another way," she said firmly. "There are grants, crowdfunding. It took me 10 years to save that much. Then we'll work smarter this time." She pulled out her phone. "Look, there's this fertility clinic in Maryland. They have payment plans, and they work with this foundation." I wiped my eyes, something shifting in my chest. "You really think there's a way?" "Girl, there's always a way." She squeezed my hand. "And revenge is a hell of a motivator." That night, I sat in my apartment, staring at my laptop screen. My search history told a story. Sperm donor requirements, IVF success rates, DNA inheritance patterns. My phone buzzed with a text from Gabriella. "Thanks for the honeymoon fund. You're the best big sis." I didn't reply. Instead, I opened a new document and started typing. Day 1. They think they've won. They think they've broken me, but they forgot something important about pain. It changes you, makes you stronger, smarter, more determined. And I've got nothing but time to plan. I clicked save and named the file Project Karma. Then I opened another tab and started researching private DNA testing companies. If I was going to do this, I was going to do it right. My mother always said some women weren't meant to be mothers. She was about to learn that some daughters weren't meant to be victims either. The clinic's business card sat on my desk, next to a photo of my mother, sister, and me from happier days. I picked up the photo and slowly tore it in half, separating myself from them. "Game on," I whispered, and reached for my phone to make a call. "I never wanted children anyway," I announced to the support group circle, my voice steady despite the lie. I just wanted the pain to stop. 12 women stared back at me, their faces a mirror of my own exhaustion. We met weekly in a community center basement, sharing war stories about surgeries, medications, and families who didn't understand. "Bullshit!" Mila called from across the circle. "I've seen how you look at the ultrasound photos on your desk." I shot her a glare, but Sarah, our group leader, leaned forward. "It's okay to admit what was stolen from you, Tamara. All of it." After the meeting, Mila caught up with me in the parking lot. "I got you something." She handed me a stack of papers. "Grant applications. My cousin works for a medical funding nonprofit." "Mila, I can't." "You can and you will." She crossed her arms. "And I got you an interview at the bar, where I work weekends. Tips are good." That's how I found myself juggling 2 jobs, working 60-hour weeks between my office position and slinging drinks. Every dollar went into a new account at a different bank. Every shift brought me closer. My phone buzzed constantly with messages from my mother. "Gabriella's having problems with Alan. Can you call her? Your sister really needs her big sister right now. Family should support each other, Tamara." I deleted them all. One night, counting tips, a memory hit me like a punch to the gut. I was 12, standing in our kitchen while my mother fussed over Gabriella's dance recital costume. "Mom, my science project won first place," I'd said, holding up the blue ribbon. "That's nice, honey. Gabriella, hold still. This sequin is loose." "But they're sending me to the state finals. Tamara, please. Your sister has a performance tonight. Can't you see this is important?" Present-day me dropped the stack of ones I was counting. A customer waved for service. "You okay?" Mila asked as I passed her at the bar. "Just ghosts," I muttered. Later that night, Mila and I sat in my apartment, surrounded by grant paperwork and empty wine glasses. "You should see the comments on Gabriella's honeymoon photos," I said, scrolling through Instagram. "Everyone thinks they're so perfect." "Show me that one again," Mila pointed. The sunset pic. I pulled it up, my sister and Alan on a Greek beach, her diamond ring catching the light. "That's not her original engagement ring," Mila noted. "What?" "Look at her posts from 2 months ago. Different ring. Bigger." I started comparing photos. She was right. She must have traded up. Again. "Your sister's got expensive taste in jewelry. And husbands." Mila topped off our glasses. "Speaking of which, I've been meaning to tell you something. Remember Jace? From high school? Your cousin's friend? He's a donor now, at that new fertility clinic downtown." I nearly choked on my wine. "Mila, just saying. He's smart, healthy, and he keeps things quiet. Unlike your drama queen sister." Another message from my mother lit up my phone. "Gabriella's in tears. Alan's being difficult about the prenup. Why aren't you supporting her?" I turned the phone face down. "You really think Jace would help? Only one way to find out." Mila pulled out her phone. "Want me to text him?" I stared at my sister's perfect Instagram life, at the rings that kept getting bigger while my dreams got smaller. "Do it." The next morning, I found an old photo album in my closet. There we were, Gabriella and me as kids. Her in frilly dresses, me in hand-me-downs, her dance recitals, my science fairs, her sweet 16 party with 50 guests, my birthday dinner at home with just Dad before he died. The pattern was always there. I just hadn't wanted to see it. My phone buzzed. A text from Mila. "Jace says yes to coffee tomorrow. You in?" I looked at the photo album one last time, then dropped it in the trash. "In," I replied. That night, I added to my Project Karma document. Day 45. Found a potential donor. If this works, my child will never know what it's like to be the less loved one. They'll never stand in anyone's shadow. And neither will I. Not anymore. My mother's latest voicemail played in the background. Tamara, your sister needs you. When are you going to stop being so selfish? I hit delete and opened my banking app instead. The new account showed $3,640. Not enough yet, but growing. Like my resolve. Tomorrow I'd meet Jace. Tomorrow everything could change. I touched my stomach gently, imagining. Some dreams refuse to die. No matter how hard others try to kill them. Jace hadn't changed much since high school. Same kind eyes, same gentle smile as he slid into the coffee shop booth across from me. Mila told me what happened, he said, stirring his latte. Your family sounds like a piece of work. That's putting it mildly. I wrapped my hands around my cup. Look, I know this is awkward. It's not. He leaned forward. I've been a donor for 2 years, helped 3 families already. Officially? 1 official. 2 private arrangements, like what you're asking for. He pulled out his phone, showing me recent medical records. I get tested every 3 months. Everything's clean, no genetic issues. My hands trembled slightly. Why do you do it? His smile faded. My sister couldn't have kids. Cancer? She died before she could try IVF? He shrugged. Guess I just want to help where I can. 2 hours later, we had an agreement. No lawyers, no paperwork, just trust and a promise. Jace would help me create the family I wanted, and my child would never know. Simple. If only everything else had been that easy. The discount clinic looked nothing like the fancy one I'd planned to use before. The walls needed paint, the chairs were worn, but Dr. Rivera's eyes were kind when she reviewed my file. Your endometriosis is severe, she said, but not impossible. With the grant funding and our sliding scale, we can make this work. Mila held my hand through the first hormone shots, through the ultrasounds, through the waiting. Gabriella's living separately from Alan now, she told me one evening as we watched TV. My cousin saw him moving boxes out. Marriage number 5 not working out? I tried to sound casual. Shocking. Your mom's been posting about it. I'll pray for my baby girl, and families need to stick together. I snorted. Funny how that works. The embryo transfer day arrived faster than I expected. Jace's donation had been perfect, they said. Strong swimmers. Good count. I lay on the table, staring at the ceiling while Dr. Rivera worked. 1 good embryo, she said. That's all we need. Mila drove me home after, making sure I stayed on bed rest. Your mom called the office again, she mentioned. What did she want? To know why you changed your emergency contact to me. She paused. I may have told her to go fuck herself. Mila. Politely, of course. 2 weeks later, I sat in Dr. Rivera's office clutching the test results. Pregnant. First try. Congratulations, she smiled. But there's something unusual we need to discuss. My heart stopped. What's wrong? Nothing's wrong, but... She pointed to the hormone levels. These numbers suggest twins. That's impossible. We only transferred 1 embryo. Sometimes, very rarely, a natural conception occurs alongside an IVF pregnancy. Have you had unprotected sex recently? I shook my head. Not since... My voice trailed off. The night before the transfer, a moment of weakness, a goodbye to my old life. Oh God. Dr. Rivera scheduled an immediate ultrasound. There they were. 2 tiny, flickering heartbeats. Twin pregnancies can be complicated, she warned. We'll need to monitor you closely. That night, I couldn't sleep. Twins, 2 babies, from 2 different sources. I opened my laptop to research the possibility when a news alert caught my eye. Local business owner Alan Clayton files for divorce, cites fraud. Below was a picture of my sister, looking appropriately devastated for the cameras. The comment section was brutal. 5th divorce before 35? Girl needs therapy. Heard she lied about pregnancies to trap him. Someone check her ring collection. My phone lit up with my mother's call. I declined it, opening my Project Karma document instead. Day 127. Pregnant with twins. Universe has a sense of humor after all. Mum always said I'd never be a mother, but I'm about to be twice the mother my sister ever was. A text from Mila popped up. OMG, did you see the divorce news? Also, we need to celebrate your news. Dinner tomorrow? Yes to dinner, I replied. And yes, Karma's finally showing up to work. I placed a hand on my still flat stomach. 2 babies. 2 chances to break the cycle of favoritism and lies. 2 middle fingers to everyone who said I couldn't. Dr. Rivera wanted genetic testing done early, given my medical history. I scheduled it for next week, not knowing those results would change everything. My mother's voicemail played in the background. Your sister needs family support right now. Alan's being horrible. Where are you? I deleted it without listening to the end. Some families you're born into. Others you create yourself. And some you realize are better left behind. The genetic screening shows something unusual, Dr. Rivera said, her face carefully neutral as she studied her computer screen. At 12 weeks pregnant, my twins were healthy and growing perfectly, but something in her tone made my stomach clench. What kind of unusual? She turned the monitor toward me. Twin A matches the donor profile we have on file, but twin B... She highlighted a section of data. The paternal DNA markers are different, and they're showing a familiar pattern. Familiar how? The database flagged a partial match. Someone related to the father has been tested in our system before. She hesitated. A man named Sullivan Joseph. The name hit me like a physical blow. Sullivan, my mother's old friend who'd been at every family gathering since I could remember, who always brought her flowers and called her Susie. That's impossible, I whispered. The match is definitive. This baby shares DNA with Mr. Joseph. Given the percentage match, he would be the biological grandfather. The room spun. I gripped the armrests of my chair. You're saying the father of this baby is Sullivan's son? It appears so. She looked concerned. Do you know who that might be? I shook my head, my mind racing. Sullivan had 2 sons, but I'd never... Wait. The night before the transfer. The goodbye drinks. The bar where his younger sons sometimes bartended. Oh, God. Dr. Rivera touched my arm gently. Would you like me to order additional testing? No, I said quickly. No, I need to think. I drove straight to Mila's apartment, my hands shaking on the steering wheel. She opened the door, one look at my face, and pulled me inside. Spill, she demanded, pushing tea into my hands. I told her everything. The test results. Sullivan. The bar. Holy shit, she breathed. But Sullivan's been friends with your mom forever. Like, since before you were born, right? Yeah, since... Something clicked. I pulled out my phone, calculating dates. Since exactly 9 months before I was born. Mila's eyes widened. No. I need to be sure. I opened my laptop, logging into the clinic's patient portal. Dr. Rivera said Sullivan's DNA was in their system. If I can access the full report. Should you be doing that? Probably not. I clicked through screens until I found it. The relationship percentage wasn't just a grandfather match, it was a father match. Sullivan is my biological father, I whispered. Mila grabbed the laptop, staring at the numbers. Which means, that night at the bar, I slept with my half-brother. The words tasted like acid. And now I'm carrying his child, along with Jace's. Does your mom know you're pregnant? No, nobody knows except you and the clinic. I pressed my hands to my temples. But Sullivan, all those years, he had to have known. Check your mom's Facebook, Mila suggested. She tags him in everything. We scrolled through years of photos. Sullivan at Christmas dinners, birthday parties, always standing close to my mother, always watching me with those familiar eyes I'd never understood until now. Look at this one, Mila pointed. A photo from my high school graduation. Sullivan standing behind me, his hand on my shoulder, beaming with pride. The caption read, "So proud of our girl." Our girl, I repeated. She's been rubbing it in his face for years. What are you going to do? I stared at the photo, at my mother's perfectly composed smile hiding decades of lies, at Sullivan, trying to be close to the daughter he couldn't claim. I'm going to need copies of everything, I said slowly. Medical records, DNA results, old photos, everything. Why? Because my mother stole my surgery fund to give my sister her 5th honeymoon. Because she told me I wasn't meant to be a mother. I touched my growing belly. Because karma's about to get really interesting. Mila's phone buzzed. She glanced at it and snorted. Speaking of karma, your sister just posted. She's claiming she's pregnant, with triplets. She's lying, I said automatically. She always lies about pregnancies when her marriages fall apart. How do you want to play this? I opened my Project Karma document, adding, Day 156. Found out I'm carrying my half-brother's baby alongside my donors. Mum's biggest secret is about to become her biggest nightmare. Sullivan Joseph isn't just my biological father, he's about to be a grandfather twice over. First, I told Mila, we gather evidence. Then we wait for the perfect moment. Which is? I smiled, remembering the invitation I'd received last week. Gabriella's gender reveal party. Mum's planning it already. Pink balloons, catered food, professional photographer. You wouldn't. Oh, but I would. I closed my laptop. After all, what's a party without a few surprises? Mila raised her teacup in a toast. To family secrets. To karma, I corrected her, and to the mess that's coming. My mother's attic smelled like old perfume and secrets. While she was at Gabriella's latest doctor's appointment, I searched through decades of carefully preserved lies. Over here, Mila whispered, pulling a dusty box from behind some Christmas decorations. Letters. The box was filled with envelopes, all addressed to my mother, spanning from 1989 to 2001. All from Sullivan. My dearest Susie, I read aloud. Another birthday passed where I couldn't hold our daughter. Another Christmas watching someone else play father to my child. Mila found another letter. Listen to this. Seeing Tamara graduate today broke my heart. I wanted to tell everyone she was mine. That her intelligence, her determination, those are Joseph traits, not his. Take photos of everything, I said, my hands trembling. Every letter, every date. A creaking floorboard made us freeze. Footsteps downstairs. Hello? Sullivan's voice called up. Susan, are you home? Mila's eyes widened. I pressed a finger to my lips and crept to the attic stairs. Just me, I called down. Mum's at Gabriella's appointment. Silence. Then, Tamara? Can we talk? I found him in the kitchen, looking older than I remembered. He stared at me like he was seeing a ghost. You've been in the attic, he said quietly, finding some interesting reading material. He sank into a chair. I always knew this day would come. Did you? I pulled out my phone, showing him the DNA results. Because I've got some reading material for you too. His face went pale. You're pregnant? Twins. One from a donor, one from your son. I watched the color drain further from his face. Funny how genetics work, isn't it? Does your mother know? Not yet, but she will, at Gabriella's party. He reached for my hand. I pulled away. "Please," he whispered. "She'll be destroyed." Like I was destroyed. When she stole my surgery money? When she told me I wasn't meant to be a mother? I laughed bitterly. Karma's funny that way. "I wanted to help you," he said, "with the surgery, but she wouldn't let me. Because that would raise questions, wouldn't it? About why you cared so much." My phone buzzed. A text from Gabriella. "Gender reveal party next Saturday. Wear pink." "I won't stop you," Sullivan said finally. "But please, let me tell her first." "No," I stood up. "You had 30 years to tell the truth. Now it's my turn." Back at my apartment, Mila helped me sort through the evidence. Photos, letters, DNA results, medical records, everything scanned and saved to a USB drive. "Your sister's really going all out," she said, scrolling through the party details. 3-tier cake, professional videographer, live streaming for social media. Perfect. I patted my growing belly. The bigger the audience, the better. My phone rang. My mother. "Tamara? Why was your car at my house today?" "Getting some old photos for a project." "What project?" "You'll see." I hung up before she could ask more questions. That night, I recorded my video. Simple, straightforward, devastating. "Hi everyone," my recorded self said. "If you're watching this, you're at my sister's gender reveal party. But today, we're revealing more than just baby genders. We're revealing truth." I added the DNA results, the letters, the photos, showing years of Sullivan hovering at the edges of my life, watching his secret daughter grow up. "And Mom?" My recorded self smiled. "Remember when you said I wasn't meant to be a mother? Well, surprise. I'm having twins, and one of them is your grandchild in more ways than you think." Mila watched the final cut, wiping tears. "They won't know what hit them. That's the point." I saved the file to the USB drive. 30 years of lies, all coming down in 3 minutes and 42 seconds. My phone buzzed again. A message from Sullivan. "Please reconsider. I'll tell her privately. I'll make it right." I typed back. "Too late. Should have thought about that before you let her treat me like a second-class daughter for 30 years. Another text arrived, from Gabriella. "Can't wait to see you at the party. Mum says you've been distant lately. Time to come back to family." I added one final clip to the video. My latest ultrasound. 2 strong heartbeats. 2 healthy babies. "Some women aren't meant to be mothers," my voice narrated over the image. "But some daughters aren't meant to keep quiet either." I tucked the USB drive into my purse. 6 days until the party. 6 days until everything changed. "Ready or not," I whispered to my babies, "we're about to rewrite the family history." Pink balloons covered every surface of my mother's house. A professional photographer circled the room, capturing the perfect family moments while guests mingled with champagne flutes. "You came!" Gabriella squealed, rushing to hug me. Her fake baby bump was perfectly positioned under a designer maternity dress. "I was worried you wouldn't show." "Wouldn't miss it," I said, patting her stomach. Firm and unyielding. Silicone, probably. My mother appeared, champagne in hand. "Darling, you look different." Her eyes narrowed at my loose-fitting dress. "Just healthy, Mom." I smiled. Amazing what peace of mind can do. Sullivan stood in the corner, looking like he might throw up. I gave him a small wave. "Everyone!" Gabriella called out. "The reveal is about to begin." The videographer positioned himself near the giant screen they'd set up. My mother tapped her glass for attention. "Before we reveal my precious grandbabies," she began, "I want to say something about family, about how dreams come true for those who deserve them." My hand tightened around the USB drive in my pocket. "My beautiful Gabriella," she continued, "has been blessed with not 1, not 2, But 3 little miracles. The crowd cooed. I caught Mila's eye across the room. She nodded slightly. Some people, my mother's gaze found me, don't understand the sacred role of motherhood, but Gabriella was born for this. Actually, I stepped forward, let's talk about birth, and mothers, and truth. Tamara, my mother warned. I was already moving toward the video setup. You've all been so excited about Gabriella's news. Let me add to the celebration. What are you doing? Gabriella hissed. The USB slid home. The screen flickered. Hi, everyone. My recorded voice filled the room. If you're watching this, you're at my sister's gender reveal party. Gasps rippled through the crowd as the DNA results appeared. Photos of Sullivan and my mother. The letters. Oh my God, someone whispered. My mother lunged for the equipment, but Mila blocked her path. Let it play, Susan. The ultrasound image appeared. My ultrasound. And Mom, my recorded voice continued. Remember when you said I wasn't meant to be a mother? Gabriella's champagne glass shattered on the floor. Well, surprise, I'm having twins. The room erupted in chaos. My mother swayed on her feet. Sullivan stepped forward to steady her, but she shoved him away. You're pregnant, Gabriella shrieked. 7 months. I smoothed my dress over my belly. Surprise. This is ridiculous. My mother tried to laugh. Sullivan and I never... The dates match, Mom. The DNA matches. Everything matches. I pulled out my phone. Should we call your old doctor? The one who delivered me? I'm sure he remembers the timing. You bitch, Gabriella spat. This was supposed to be my day. Your day? I laughed. You mean your fake pregnancy reveal? Should we talk about what Alan's lawyers found? About the fraudulent medical records? She went white. The photographer's camera clicked rapidly. The videographer hadn't stopped recording. Tamara, Sullivan stepped forward. Please. No. My mother's voice was ice. You don't get to speak to her. You don't get to speak to anyone. 30 years too late for that, isn't it? I touched my stomach. But hey, at least you'll get to be a grandfather. Twice. Though one of those times is a little more complicated than the other. Understanding dawned on Sullivan's face. My son. He's the father of one of... Your grandson? Yeah. Genetics are wild like that. Someone in the crowd gagged. The photographer's flash kept going off. This isn't happening, my mother whispered. Oh, but it is. I turned to the stunned guests. By the way, those designer purses Gabriella's been selling. Check the serial numbers. They're knockoffs. And those triplets she's carrying. Silicone bump from Amazon. 4 stars. Great reviews. Gabriella burst into tears and ran from the room. You've destroyed this family, my mother said. No, Mom. You did that. One lie at a time. I headed for the door, pausing to address the crowd one last time. Thank you all for coming to my gender reveal. It's boys, by the way, both of them. Mila fell into step beside me as I walked out. Behind us, chaos continued to unfold. I heard my mother's sobs, Sullivan's attempts to explain, guests whispering and phones clicking. You okay? Mila asked as we reached my car. I touched my stomach, feeling my son's kick. Never better. My phone was already blowing up with notifications. The live stream had caught everything. The truth was out, and there was no putting it back in its box. Let's get ice cream, I said. I think we've earned it. The video went viral overnight. Gender reveal revenge trended for days. My inbox flooded with messages from other women sharing their stories of family betrayal and toxic mothers. You're trending higher than that couple who released butterflies that turned out to be moths, Mila said, scrolling through her phone. We sat in my living room, watching the fallout unfold. My mother's carefully curated social media presence imploded. Comments poured in. How could you steal from your own daughter? 30 years of lies. Team Tamara all the way. Gabriella's accounts vanished completely after someone leaked proof of her fake pregnancies from all 5 marriages. Alan's lawyers had a field day. The doorbell rang. Mila checked the security camera. It's Sullivan. I nodded. Let him in. He looked older than ever, carrying a thick manila envelope. These are for you, he said, placing it on my coffee table. Birth certificate, medical history, family photos I kept hidden. Things you should have had all along. Sit down, I said. We need to talk about your son. I told him everything. Sullivan sank into a chair. He's processing. Says he needs time. Good, because he's not going to be involved with this baby. Neither of them. I understand. He pulled out his wallet, hands shaking. But I'd like to be, if you'll let me. I've set up a trust for both boys. No strings attached. I studied him. Why now? Because I was a coward for 30 years. Because I let your mother convince me it was better this way. His voice cracked. Because I don't want to miss another generation. My phone buzzed. A text from my mother. You've made your point. Now stop this madness. Come home. We can fix this. I showed Sullivan the message. Can we? No, he said firmly. Some things shouldn't be fixed. They should be rebuilt. Better. The next day, Mila drove me to my doctor's appointment. Dr. Rivera checked the twins' progress. Perfect growth, she smiled. Both boys are right on track. In the waiting room afterward, a woman approached me. Are you the gender reveal girl from the video? I nodded. Thank you, she whispered. I showed it to my mother. We're finally talking about things. Real things. That evening, a familiar name appeared in my inbox. Evan. I saw the video. I made a mistake walking away when you got your diagnosis. I should have stayed. Should have fought for you. For us. Please let me make it right. I deleted it without replying. Mila brought dinner and news. Your sister's been admitted to a treatment center. Apparently she had some kind of breakdown after the party. And Mom posted a taking time for reflection message and went dark. But Sullivan's wife left him. It's all over town. I touched my belly, feeling the twins move. Think I went too far? They went too far first, Mila said firmly. For 30 years. My phone lit up with another message. This one from Jace. Saw the news. Just wanted you to know I'm still here. Still supporting your choice. No judgment. That night, I couldn't sleep. I waddled to my home office, where I'd been setting up the nursery. 2 cribs, 2 of everything. My Project Karma document was still open on my laptop. I added, Day 245. The truth doesn't ask permission to emerge. It doesn't care about perfect timing or comfortable revelations. It just is. A knock at my door startled me. Through the peephole, I saw my mother. Please, she called. 5 minutes. I opened the door but blocked the entrance. She looked destroyed, her perfect makeup gone, her designer clothes wrinkled. You're really pregnant, she whispered, staring at my belly. Really pregnant. Really done with lies. Really not interested in whatever you're selling. I loved your father, she said. The man who raised you. But, Sullivan, save it. I stepped back. The time for explanations was 30 years ago. Or when you stole my surgery money. Or any day in between. What do you want from me? Nothing. I smiled. That's the beauty of it. I don't want or need anything from you anymore. She started to cry. I'm still your mother. No, I said gently. You're just the woman who gave birth to me. There's a difference. Ask Gabriella. She's learning it too. I closed the door on her sobs. My phone buzzed with a text from Mila. "You okay?" "Better than okay," I replied. "I'm free." The twins kicked in agreement. Two little lives who would never know the weight of family secrets or the pain of being less loved. I added one final line to my document. "The truth doesn't just set you free, sometimes it burns down the prison entirely." The hospital room filled with early morning light as I held my sons for the first time. Two perfect, healthy boys, both with my dark hair and different father's eyes. "They're beautiful," Mila whispered, wiping tears. "What are their names?" "James and Marcus." I touched each tiny face. New names, new beginnings. A soft knock at the door made us look up. Sullivan stood there, holding two small blue bears. "Is it okay if I—" He gestured uncertainly. I nodded. He approached slowly, his eyes fixed on the babies. "James has your eyes," I said softly. "Your family's eyes. Marcus looks more like Jace." Sullivan touched James's tiny hand with one finger. "Thank you for letting me be here. Don't make me regret it." Another knock. This time it was Jace, carrying flowers. He and Sullivan exchanged awkward nods. "How are you feeling?" Jace asked, setting the flowers down. "Like I just pushed out 2 bowling balls." I managed a smile. "But worth it." My phone buzzed. A text from my mother. "Please, let me see them. I'm in the lobby." "No," I told Mila before she could ask. "Some bridges stay burned." The nurse came in to check vitals. "The babies are perfect," she announced. "Though we had an incident earlier. Had to remove a woman who was trying to convince staff she was the grandmother." "That would be my mother," I said. "Former mother. Security handled it." The nurse winked. "We take patient wishes very seriously here." Later, as the sun set, I sat alone with my sons. James gripped my finger while Marcus slept peacefully. "Your family tree is complicated," I told them. "But your life won't be. No lies, no favorites, no secrets." My phone lit up with a message from Gabriella. "Treatment's going well. I'm sorry. For everything. Maybe someday." I left it unread. Sullivan had left a letter with the bears. I opened it one-handed. "Dear Tamara, I can't undo 30 years of absence, but I can promise 30 more of presence if you'll allow it. Not just for James, but for both boys. For you. The trust fund is set up. Use it or don't. It's your choice, like everything else from now on. With love and regret, Dad." Mila returned with coffee and news. "Your story hit Good Morning America. They want an interview." "No," I said firmly. "Our story isn't for public consumption anymore." "Our?" I looked at my sons. "The 3 of us, our little truth-telling team." A commotion in the hallway drew our attention. My mother's voice, rising. "I have a right to see them. I'm their grandmother." "Mom, please leave before we call security again." "Susan," Sullivan's voice now. "Go home. You've lost this one." Silence. Then footsteps fading away. Jace came back that evening just to check on us. He held Marcus while I fed James. "I'd like to stay involved," he said quietly. "Not as a father, but as whatever you're comfortable with. Uncle Jace has a nice ring to it." He smiled. "I can work with that." That night, as my sons slept in their hospital bassinets, I opened my laptop one last time. The Project Karma document waited. Final entry. "They say revenge is a dish best served cold. But sometimes it's served with truth, wrapped in justice, delivered with twins. My sons will never know the pain of being less loved, the weight of family secrets, or the sting of stolen dreams. They'll know only this. Their mother fought back. Their mother won. Their mother chose truth over comfort, strength over submission, and love over lies. And if anyone ever asks them about karma, they can just point to their birth certificates and smile." I closed the laptop as James stirred. Lifting him gently, I hummed the lullaby my father, the man who raised me, used to sing. Your story starts here, I whispered to my son. Clean slate, no baggage, no lies. Marcus woke too, demanding his share of attention. I gathered both boys close, breathing in their newborn scent. My phone buzzed one last time, a text from Mila. Need anything? No, I replied. For the first time in my life, I have everything I need. Outside my window, the sun rose on a new day. My sons dozed in my arms, unaware they were born from revenge, but would be raised with love. Some debts can never be repaid. Some bridges should stay burned. Some families are better rebuilt from scratch. And some revenge stories end not with destruction, but with creation. I kissed each tiny forehead and whispered, Welcome to the world, my little karmic miracles. Let's show them how it's done.